Again. Okay, great. Well, welcome. Welcome to the Mindfulness Broadcast. In the chat, I'm going to put the link to where the videos are stored. They're updated every week. There's over 27 of them over there now. I had paused for probably a year and a half of recording these. So you'll notice my plants have gotten bigger now. My hair has gotten longer. But they are being recorded now and put on that site. And you're welcome to share those with participants, your loved ones, each other, and just tap into them whenever you want. And again, I always try to just pin me so it's just me and you don't have to worry about being out there. So good morning. It is lovely to be here with you today. I want to dive in. I want to talk this morning about what is happening in the world for many of us right now. There's so much happening. I'm going to pick one particular thing, which is mask mandates are changing. And I've been in lots of meetings this week where it has been a topic of conversation. And very often the topic of conversation begins with, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is so great. And I always think it's really important to remember that's one side of it, right? Over on this side is a whole nother level of feeling about that, about this is really scary. I'm not safe anymore. I might not be safe at work. My children might not be safe at school. And in between that are a whole lot of other feelings. And so, the meetings that I was in, people were really honoring that spectrum. And I just was so grateful for that. And I want to just remind us of that as we change. For some of us, we've been out of the office for 2 years and we're just coming back in. For some of us, we've been in the office, but it's been masked. And that is shifting, and people will be in choice in what that looks like and having all sorts of feelings about it. And so I just want to bring us into this really great model where we can consider our thoughts around this fact that mask mandates are changing in Oregon, indoor mask mandates. And like that is a fact, right? And then we have a feeling, we have a thought, sorry, that fact triggers a thought for us. And again, some of us is, yay, I've been waiting forever. This is the greatest news I've gotten in a long time. And for some of us, it's, I am now more unsafe than I have ever been in the last 2 years, and everywhere in between. And that thought then triggers an emotion for us. And I want to share my screen. If you got here a little bit early, you saw this. This is from the Gottman Institute, and I will put the link to this in the chat so that you all have it. But it's such a powerful visual. When we ask people about emotions, kind of, what emotions do you typically feel? Usually people can name about 4. And you can see that there's 6 here, these kind of main. Usually people are able to name about 4 of those. But what we know is that beyond that mad, beyond that scared, there's actually quite a lot that we can dive into and finesse. And the importance of that is that each one of these feelings produces a different action for us. It leads us at what I'm doing when I feel helpless versus what I'm doing when I feel bewildered or discouraged will be different. And so it just allows us to be with ourselves in more intricate ways. And we can also begin to see patterns, right? So if I'm feeling maybe more in that mad and scared and sad more often than I am in the others, it gives me an opportunity to dive in. It also allows me to see all of this as an emotional spectrum, that it is normal. It is normal to feel these. We are blessed to have this wide spectrum of emotion. And so when I feel, so we've got the circumstance, we've got the mask mandate is changing. We've got our thought about that mask mandate, right? So we know that that's very different for many of us. And those thoughts lead to different emotional states for each of us. And our emotions lead us to action. They lead us to doing something. And so I want to share one more screen here with you, one more image, hoping you all can see this. It says patterns of stress. Can you all see that? Do you see that? Thumbs up if you can see. You don't see it. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Try that again. How about that? Patterns of stress. Do you see that? Yeah, great. So when we start to feel those more challenging emotions, those kind of upper ones that we talked about on that wheel of feeling, there's some discomfort that generally comes with that. So what we see on this y-axis is discomfort. As we feel that discomfort, we are led to do something because our feelings lead us into action. And so the practice today is about being willing to stick with discomfort for a while. Because often if we are mindless about how we are feeling, and it's in those more challenging emotions, we tend to buffer. So at this point, we're feeling discomfort. We're going to stay with this the blue line here. The orange line for a moment. If in that moment I buffer because what I want to do is feel different, I want to feel better. I'm stressed. I am in discomfort. I want to feel better. We often engage in buffering activities. Well, so what we do as a result of that emotion is buffer. We have another glass of wine. We skip our walk at lunch and instead sit on our phone and lose 30 minutes on emails or Facebook or whatever it is. We might step out of meetings, or we might step into micromanaging behaviors. We buffer to try to feel better, to have more power, to feel different, to feel less discomfort. And in that moment, the discomfort goes away because we have the glass of wine. We're in somebody else's life on Facebook. We're micromanaging a project and forgetting about it. But eventually that discomfort returns, and it generally returns to a higher state because now I've also wasted 30 minutes on social media, or I drank that glass of wine and I said I was only going to drink on Friday and Saturday night, or I micromanaged something and caused an issue that it didn't need to be caused. So now I'm layering my discomfort. So with mindfulness in that discomfort is we're just aware. I'm feeling a greater sense of fear because the mask mandate is changing. And how can I be with myself in that? And how can I make space for that? And how can I ask for what I need in that? And in that way, our discomfort actually increases a little bit because the discomfort increases because now I have to be with this emotion. Now I'm choosing to explore it a little bit, expand it a little bit. But what happens is as we stay with it, which you can see on this blue line, is that our discomfort starts to decrease. And in fact, it goes below its starting point because we've stayed with ourselves in discomfort and been in alignment with our values, allowed for our spectrum of emotions to be there, to have integrity with how we are with ourselves when we're in discomfort. So just a reminder to us, there are lots of feelings that are happening. Behind those feelings are lots of thoughts. And as a result of those feelings, there are actions. And we get to choose how we are with those actions. We get to choose how we are with those emotions and being purposeful with that, creating space for that. So let's practice this morning. Let's get into our own mindfulness practice, a way to remind ourselves how to be present with ourselves. Go ahead and close your eyes, or you can take a soft gaze. Find your breath. Find your body. Give yourself some gratitude this morning for showing up and for being here. Showing up in this way is how we train our brains to be present with our emotional state, whatever it is. wherever it falls, to be in choice. It's a superpower. We're going to do a body scan this morning. In body scans in our mindfulness practice, we're just placing our attention on parts of our body, and I will guide us through that. Bringing our attention to what is, to the present moment, practicing staying with that, being non-judgmental. If you find that your mind is jumping all over this morning, just give yourself a lot of love and a lot of grace and a lot of compassion. Gently bringing yourself back to the practice whenever you notice your mind has wandered, reminding yourself that that's normal. Bring your attention to your feet this morning. Finding your toes and wiggling them. Finding your heels. The outer parts of your feet. Your arches. Finding each point in your foot. Moving it around. Bringing your awareness to the temperature in your feet, to any sensations you might be feeling, any crackling you might be noticing. Allowing your attention to move up into your shins and your calves. Perhaps feeling your pants, your clothing. You might stretch, really feeling that calf muscle. Moving up into the knees. Noticing what's there. If you're feeling some level of pain anywhere in the body as we go through it, see if you can notice it without labeling it. So noticing it might be, for example, it feels like a searing hotness or a dull thud or a long, elongated pain as I move, for example. Seeing if you can describe it, the sensation of it, bringing full awareness into the experience. Moving up into your thighs, into your bottom. If you're sitting, feel your sits bones where they make contact. Feeling the balance. Allow your attention to move into your lower back. Feeling a strength and attentiveness building and moving all the way up each vertebrae through your neck to the crown of the head. As we close, bringing your attention into your face. Again, noticing where you might be holding tension or tightness, where you might invite any openness, acceptance. Noticing that space between your eyebrows. Noticing how you're holding your mouth, your jaws. And finally landing on your nose while you bring in a large, long inhale. And through your lips as you let that go slowly. One more time, inhaling through your nose. Exhaling through your lips. Slowly, slowly opening your eyes. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I didn't get that in the chat. That feeling wheel, if you Google Gottman Institute, Gottman with 2 T's, and feeling wheel, you'll find it. Thank you. Bye, everyone.